Got a call this morning from the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, who had gotten a call from the Port Charlotte Sheriff's Department, and they said that there was a bobcat who had been hit by a car and was laying in the median of Gasparilla Road just south of McCall. And by the time the sheriff's office got there, the cat had dragged himself to the side of the road and then managed to disappear. So I am headed to the sanctuary right now to grab the rescue van. Just got out of bed and clearly have no makeup on. Hope I don't scare this poor bobcat to death. I asked our team to have the rescue van ready for me and the windshields washed because they get pretty dusty sitting under the canopy. And it's about a 2+ hour drive down to Port Charlotte. So I put out an alert on Facebook and I contacted Deb and asked her to geo-target our Facebook audience down in Port Charlotte and see if we can get a little posse down there to find the cat. So got the rescue van, all the rescue stuff that is needed back there. When I got here, the gate was broken. It's always something. Well, I think this may be the first time that we have ever successfully utilized somebody local by a Facebook post. I know we've done Facebook posts before for people to come out and help us, and I think maybe on Cypress, the bobcat, that might have been one where the people came from the Facebook post. I don't remember. But anyway, Deb had posted to our groups in addition to geo-targeting on Facebook, and Carol is a local rehabber down there in the Port Charlotte area, and she responded immediately, went out to the location to see if she could put her eyes on the bobcat. And that's the biggest help to me whenever there is a bobcat that's been hit by a car, is if it has run off into the bush. By the time I get there, the blood is dried. I can't tell from the road where the hit has been, if there's any blood at all. Sometimes they don't bleed because they just break all their bones, but bobcat skin is so tough. So Carol got down there with her nets and her gloves and started pounding the pavement and the bush to find the bobcat, and she called or texted with Deb Quimby and said she found the bobcat and the bobcat is dead. So I'm still probably an hour away, and she said the cat just recently expired, which is so sad. But she's going to, Deb's going to talk to Carol and see if she can pick the bobcat up for me, get it off the road or wherever it is that she found it, and take it to her home or someplace where I can pick it up. Because even though the bobcat is dead, we take all of the bobcats that we do find that are dead to the state lab, and they're tested for FLM, feline leukomyelopathy, I think is what that is. It's a disease that's killing the bobcats and Florida panthers. We're currently, in fact, just Monday, we collared 2 of our rehab bobcats for release into study, what's happening out there. How is it these cats are catching this neurological disease, and what's going on before the entire populations are wiped out. And so this will be, at least this cat's death is not totally in vain, and it'll serve some purpose to know whether FLM is in the Port Charlotte area. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, everybody who responded. I'll keep you posted. Rather than have Carol just stand on the side of the road with the cat, I asked Deb to relay to her to take the cat to her home, and I would come there instead, since she was only about, I think she said, 7 miles from the place of impact. So I'm headed to her place now. So I arrived here at Carol's place, and she is wearing a Big Cat Rescue shirt. Oh, thank you.
I love Big Cat Rescue and cats.
Oh, can you tell everybody what happened this morning that brought you out to the side of the road?
I saw on the Facebook page for the group, Big Cat Rescue group, that you had a call for a bobcat that was hit around me on Gasparilla Road. And I was like, well, I'm right here, so I'm going to go. I do animal rescue for the Venice Wildlife, and I figured I had all the stuff in case. So I went out and looked around at the address that was listed and looked in the weeds and stuff, thinking if the cat was injured, it would go there, didn't see anything, and then came back and found him on the side of the road, passed away.
Oh, gosh. So sad.
So, yeah, and it's a male. He's beautiful.
So Jamie, my daughter, is contacting the FWC asking if they want me to drop it by the state lab on the way back or if they're going to pick it up at the sanctuary. So I don't know yet what's going to happen there. But what they want to do is every time a bobcat ends up being deceased somewhere, they test it for FLM, which is that neurological disease that's killing bobcats and Florida panther. So at least, the poor cat's life won't have been in vain if...
It'll help science figure out what's causing it.
Yeah. So thank you for getting out there so quickly and picking it up.
Oh,
It didn't
my
end up as
pleasure.
some taxidermy mount on some Yahoo's wall instead.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Meeting Carol was lovely. Like everybody, she's hoping that someday soon people can visit the sanctuary again. We talked a little bit about the virtual walkabout that's coming up, and we carried the bobcat out to the car. He is huge. I mean, huge. And it just, here there's a huge gap now in his territory. The only good news to come of that is that some new male is about to take over what has clearly been an excellent territory for hunting for this cat. So I don't think we're going to find that he has FLM. He just looks to be in too good a shape for that. I didn't look him over really closely, but just given his weight, he's a really big male. Such a huge loss. Thank goodness for people like Carol out there who are doing their part to protect these wild animals. She does turtle monitoring for sea turtles and protects those animals. I asked her if she gets calls because her husband was out there taking a picture of us, and I asked if she gets calls in the middle of the night, and she said usually turtle things are not in the middle of the night like bobcats are, but that she does have to be able to respond on a moment's notice. So thank you to all the rehabbers out there. You're angels. Did I mention how much I hate bridges? Anybody who knows me knows I hate bridges, and you might think it's because I tried to commit suicide by jumping off the Kanawha Bridge when I was a teenager, but that's actually, I don't know, maybe that was it. I know 41 years ago, maybe 42 years ago, when I was pregnant with Jamie, my stepson, Mickey Murdoch, had broken his neck, and he was in South Carolina, and his father and I, Michael Murdoch and I, had gone to see him there in the hospital, and I was really pregnant with Jamie at the time, and we got into a fight, and I had the choice of going back to our hotel, which was across this ridiculously high bridge, or going back home. So I went home. Mind you, I was like really, really pregnant with Jamie. I was huge, and I was on foot, and I had no coat, and it was cold, and oh my gosh, that was so horrible. So to this day, if I have a choice, I will usually avoid, it makes me stutter to even say it. I will not go anywhere where there's a bridge if I can get around it, but I don't have a choice when I'm called on these bobcat calls. I have to take the shortest routes. Skyway Bridge, I mean, that thing already fell once, right? I mean, it's already proven that it's not safe, and this guy in front of me is not driving safe either. Holy cats. Jamie got a hold of Bambi at the FWC, and she says they will come pick up the bobcat tomorrow, so I'm going to hand him off to Afton, who will put him in the cooler instead of the freezer so that the body is maintained at the proper temperature for the testing for the FLM.